Okay, so what do you get when you combine a Harvard Law School graduate, a cyclist, and a Silicon Valley guy who can seamlessly transition between technological and social issues? Well, you get the mayor of the 10th largest city in this country. It's my distinct pleasure to invite Sam Liccardo, the mayor of City of San Jose, to be our fireside chat speaker, and to moderate the session, it's none other than Blaise Zarega, editor-in-chief of VentureBeat. Let's welcome.
We'll sit next to each other.
Absolutely.
In the beginning, but by the time we're done, we'll probably be sitting far away. We'll see. So this is our speed dating opportunity.
Yes.
We have 15 minutes
That's
of
great.
love. Let us know if...
It's hard on a politician just keeping my comments to 1 minute.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'll grab this one. You got it? Okay.
I think it's me. I'm the guilty party here. Okay, so today's topic is what makes Silicon Valley so special. And San Jose is the capital of Silicon Valley. And we know that. And Mayor Liccardo took office in 2014. It's a time, 8 years or more of budget cuts. The cities in California are under a lot of distress, and there's things going on that obviously occupy you every day. But what I wanted to focus on today was looking at San Jose as both an enabler and perhaps a beneficiary with the tech community in the surrounding areas. And I think that is one of the things that makes San Jose so special. And wanted to look at probably 3 main areas today. The partnership with Facebook and 2 other projects, which I'll save my thunder. So first off, could you tell us a little bit, actually you've got your own mic, about the TerraGraph partnership?
Sure.
And when is it getting started and how did it come about?
Well, first, thank you for deciding that our logo, that we're the capital of Silicon Valley, is true. I'm not sure that everybody in Silicon Valley really believes that.
Yeah.
And we know what the reality is, right? We've got a lot of great companies and a lot of great innovators to our north and to our west. And we've got a lot of work to do, I think. I think there's no question that we are the urban center and we need to live up to the role we have as the major city in this region. And so the TerraGraph project, I think, is one great example. I launched a smart city vision with my colleagues on the council a month or 2 ago. Our Chief Innovation Officer, Shireen Santasham, is here, and she's sort of the key architect of all of this. And the focus was how we could really create a demonstration platform out of a city. How do you enable great innovators to come into your city and beta test whatever they want to do, demonstrate it, scale it, and see how it works in the real world in a real urban environment. So with Facebook, I think many have read already that Facebook is certainly a vision of connecting the world, and Prime Minister Modi's talking about what it could do to digital India and so forth. What we believe we have an opportunity to do here is to demonstrate how you can get 1 to 2 gig Wi-Fi access throughout an urban core. And Facebook is willing to pay for it, so we're happy to let them do it. And we think this is really exciting for us because, like all big cities, whether you're in Silicon Valley or outside, we've got a huge digital divide here. And the opportunity to be able to bring extremely fast internet connectivity, not just in the downtown, but then to push into East San Jose and really bring a lot of residents and families into Silicon Valley who've been excluded. This is a great opportunity.
Yeah, so it's one of the challenges and responsibilities as mayor is to distribute the benefits equitably. So this seems on the path of that. But how did San Jose win the deal? I mean, did you compete with Austin and San Francisco, or how?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you I did it single-handedly, and it was Shireen's magic touch. I'm sure she had something to do with it. We're blessed to have relationships in this valley. We are so blessed to be in a valley that is the center of innovation on the planet. And it helps when you have companies in your backyard that are looking for local guinea pigs. And there's no bigger guinea pig than San Jose. So we're happy to be that.
So, and unlike, I'm not going to ask you to, speak badly of your fellow mayors, but in San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee, there's controversy with the Google buses and gentrification and so on. Today, I guess it was today and last night, Mayor Chang in Cupertino sort of is clamoring for a clawback from Apple for $100 million to contribute to infrastructure.
Yeah.
And it seems that San Jose has managed to navigate a different road.
Well, I'd like to have $100 million from Apple too, if they're willing to hand it out.
I heard they're minting money.
Yeah, they haven't actually approached us with that offer yet. But we view our role here in the Valley as the place where companies can scale. And we recognize there are real growth constraints elsewhere in the Valley. There are wonderful suburbs here in Silicon Valley that want to stay suburban, want to have a suburban scale, would rather not have all the traffic and major transit infrastructure. We're happy to invest in that transit infrastructure. We certainly have the talent within our city, but we have it in the entire region. And to be the place where Apple can come in and look to build up to 4 million square feet, which is what they have the capacity to do right now in North San Jose with recent acquisitions. The opportunity for smaller but fast-growing companies like Silver Spring and others to be able to come in and scale quickly.
So let's talk about Silver Spring, and this is the Internet of Things track.
Yes.
So part of the smart, your demonstration city initiative, the Smart Vision, is to bring a mesh network from Silver Spring to San Jose. Can you tell people what that entails?
Well, I think everybody recognizes the extraordinary potential IoT and how it's scaling as quickly as it is. We know there are lots of civic applications here, and there's opportunities for us to be able to utilize sensor technology to do everything from manage traffic congestion to reduce emissions, on and on. What we know, the challenge is created here when you have millions of sensors, lots of distributed data coming from all directions, is security and privacy. What Silver Spring Networks is offering is an opportunity to create, as they already have and as they're building out, really bank-level security within the IoT system. That obviously provides everybody an awful lot more confidence, both in the public as well as private sector companies who want to take advantage of that system and get in, and they're basically offering a reduced or free rate for small innovators who want to be a part of that. And so it provides us a great platform to help the nascent companies who want to grow. At the same time, we're also testing out our own civic applications in public infrastructure.
What are some of the potential use cases for these sensors or video cameras that you're describing?
Yeah, I mean, without getting too creepy, because I know anytime you start talking about distributed video and data and all that, people start wondering exactly what your idea is in mind. We certainly know we can do a better job managing traffic congestion. We know we are seeing already deployed in cities like New York City where they're looking at to test and understand and measure where you have very high levels of particulate emissions and how they impact particularly low-income neighborhoods, and how you might manage infrastructure and traffic to address that issue. We think there are some great safety applications relating to both pedestrian safety as well as to crime. And I promise it won't get spooky with drones or anything like that. We think there's great opportunity where we can both protect privacy and substantially improve civic services. And we really are in this position because we have to be, because cities throughout the country are so incredibly challenged financially and will be for many years to come.
And so there's efficiency, safety, environmental reasons to undertake this.
Absolutely. And we've got great companies here who can help us tackle the challenges in deployment. I was just talking to the CEO of Monolithic Power Systems, and they're working on how you manage power in an IoT network, which is awfully important to us as we're trying to figure out how exactly you get power to all those poles out there.
And so the thing about San Jose, it's mentioned one of the top 10 cities in the U.S., the third city in California with a population of more than 1 million. But
the number one most interesting, with the best looking people.
The mayor is handsome and good looking, let it be known. But in all seriousness, sir, what is it then? I'm sensing that and hearing that there's an openness around the government in San Jose. And you think about, you talk to many entrepreneurs, they say, oh, government, never going to work with government, RFPs, bureaucracy, never going to happen. Why is it happening in San Jose? What is it you're doing?
Well, I think the one thing that all government officials like myself what we have to overcome in our DNA is risk aversion. And we know the secret sauce of success here in Silicon Valley, in addition to the incredible diversity we have and the innovation, is a willingness to fail forward. It's take risks and fail and move forward. And the problem for governments and for mayors in particular is every time you fail and you think you're failing forward, you're actually just getting another headline in the local paper. And we tend to be pretty averse to that. So we really have to change the culture, and we're working on that now, and I think we're starting to make some progress. Part of it is sort of getting the attorneys out of the way. I know I say that pejoratively, but I mean, I'm a recovering lawyer, and I know that the instinct of every city attorney in every city in the country, and this is true for any place in the world, is to hedge against risk. And so we have to be willing to open up our infrastructure and say, let's try this, and let's just make sure we're taking calculated risks and understanding how we're taking them.
Mm-hmm. And it is also, I'd like to ask you, I know you gave a speech last month, and you're in certain circles known, for unleashing your geek, for being a not just
yes.
recovering lawyer, but perhaps a nerd at heart as well.
Yes.
And
it's in all of us.
The idea of crowdsourcing, not of looking to citizens for help. And could you talk a little bit about
sure.
the announcement?
I mean, I think we're seeing great opportunities in cities throughout the world right now with open data platforms, for example, where we're seeing local innovators who are utilizing data that's being made available by public agencies to create great smartphone apps that are helping improve services. So we want to formalize this, and we're launching on May 11th what we call Unleash Your Geek. And the notion is we're going to identify a few challenging issues we have in the public realm, and we want to convene those who are interested in jumping in to do so. And this is not just going to be sort of, the one-day hackathon for the caffeine addicted, but actually something where we engage people over an extended period of time. So I'll give you an example about, problem number one we're going to throw out there on May 11th is, and these can be small problems or big, all that graffiti you see on freeway overpasses and bridges and so forth. Right now, it costs us $60,000 to shut down a freeway. Wow. To get Caltrans up there with some guy to paint over this stuff. Poor guy, I don't know. I hope he has a good insurance policy. And it's a huge mess. And so we know there are lots of bright engineering students at San Jose State and Santa Clara and all around us. We think we can get a lot of folks together to create a mechanized device to paint out the graffiti without having to shut down a freeway or get anybody up there. So we're partnering with the Community Foundation and the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. They just opened up their branch in San Jose. And we're basically going to convene this contest and see who can create a device that will save San Jose from graffiti on freeways.
That's really cool. And so aside from civic engagement, is there sort of an X Prize model? Or?
Yeah, why not?
Why not, right?
Yeah.
This is the right room for it.
Right, we'll give them the platform, and with the Patent and Trademark Office, maybe we'll get them a patent too and make them $1 million.
Uh-huh. I see an episode of Shark Tank.
We have the original Shark Tank in downtown San Jose.
Oh,
Go Sharks, yeah.
That's right. See, I had to get that plug.
Yeah, thank you. I know, it's too easy, sorry.
And then we have a little bit more time. So the third project I wanted to ask you about is actually it's the fourth, I guess, the Prospect Silicon Valley and other sort of ways, and then also at the same time let's answer that and then. Yeah,
so Prospect Silicon Valley is a space we've created just east of downtown in some industrial area where we know that it's a real challenge for innovators often to be able to find the space, to be able to test and demonstrate whatever they're working on. It's focused primarily on clean transportation, clean tech in the transportation space. And we're testing all kinds of different concepts. We've got investors from big companies like BMW and Cisco to the smallest of startups. And we're testing what happens, for example, what happens when you have a smart car enter a smart intersection. How we can get the two to communicate well. And so that way When the light is red for a long enough period of time, the ignition will turn off and you won't have the emissions, and it'll be time to turn on at the right moment. All those kinds of things that we know ultimately leading to what will be an automated, autonomous auto future. But we know getting to that autonomous future is going to be challenging for cities, particularly as we think about risk. And so we want to see how we can pave that path and get the steps to accelerate that innovation and make it happen as quickly as possible in San Jose.
And is there an opportunity for a city like San Jose to sort of get into the IP transfer business? You're fostering this innovation, you're working with other private companies.
I'm a big believer in being smart enough to know what you don't know, and I don't think government should get involved in that. I know it's challenging enough for big universities.
Stanford.
And Lord only knows what the city would do. So I'm happy for other people to get rich. We just want them to make us look good.
All right. And I got final question, and then hopefully we have room for time for one or two. Advice to entrepreneurs who may want to engage with your city.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. Certainly come to San Jose, bring your business. We love you and your tax revenue. But we really want to be the place where you launch, where you beta test, where you demonstrate. And so please reach out to us with your ideas, and let's see how we can work together. Shireen Santasham is over here, our Chief Innovation Officer. Thank you for waving, Shireen. She's the really smart one on the team. It tells me what to do. But reach out to either one of us. We've got a small but very mighty team.
Great, thank you so much. Well, actually, wait, before, questions. Anyone have any questions for the mayor? Hold on.
Coming in.
This is the 21st century version of the index card, right?
Yes, that's great. They're donating iPhones. How cool.
Nice.
What are some of the biggest issues facing the city of San Jose? In other words, what keeps you up at night?
Wow. The good news is I sleep through it all, but there's plenty of stuff for us to worry about. Any mayor of any big city is constantly focused on violence and how we reduce crime. And so we're working on a lot of initiatives focused on getting to our teenagers before the gangs do, and particularly around getting our teenagers their first jobs. And if you're interested in partnering with us, we'd love to engage you in our San Jose Works initiative. We're getting over 1,000 teenagers their first job this summer and fall, and we want to continue to scale that program. Very focused on affordable housing right now, both for workforce, which is very challenged, as well as for the most needy and the homeless. And so I spent a lot of my time on those two issues, and then finally transportation. We're going to have a major initiative coming to you and your home in November. We're going to be asking you to support a countywide measure to get BART constructed all the way through San Jose onto Santa Clara. Yes. There is good news. It's going to open in Berryessa next year. I think about $70 or $100 million under budget and a year ahead of schedule. How often do you hear that in government? But we're also got to work on our roads and a lot of other transportation improvements. So all that's in this big package. So those are the three big areas. It's about crime, housing, and transportation.
Great. All right. Well, the Internet of Things is telling us that we're now 1 minute and 48 seconds over.
All right. I'll stop talking then. Thank you. It's been enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks. It's fun.